So with it being October, it was always a struggle trying to figure out what to do for a themed month. There's always an Natober. There's always going to be some Natober thing. Where it's like spooky snacks, spooky reviews, stuff like that. That's the tagline. But it's like, what can I do other than that to like tie in for like that bonus video for the month? And I was like, why not do like a special series like Thew Adams does, where right now he's in Trucktober, where it's like reviewing Optimus Prime's Trucktober. And I've already doing my monster perspective, and then I've decided to do energy perspective as the line is dying. I was like, what am I gonna do? What am I really gonna do? Well, I'm like, hey, I still need to finish my Subway Horror Story videos. So this is the Subway Horror Story 2.0, or what are we gonna call it? What horror theme can we go with, like, to tie it in? So, brought to you by the collective mind of those at Nathan Festick Food Reviews, I bring you Subway Horror Stories, the Re-Horroring. Or something like that. I don't know. But this one, where do I want to start? Is it worth working at Subway? Do I want to do managers or something? I don't freaking know. So let's talk about coworkers.
Hello, coworker.
I kind of teased it on my podcast, Long Distance Pizza Party podcast. What were the guests like? So when you work fast food, any fast food, Subway, McDonald's, Burger King, whatever, you have some really nice guests. Generally, they're your regulars, or you get the most despisable, most horrible guests ever. I don't know why some people act this way. One, because I think you're less than them because you do fast food, and like legit, that's the worst thing to do, because like I can spit in your food. Legit, there are creative ways I can jack up your food and you wouldn't even know it. And I work at Subway, where I can easily see the front line. For the most part, I guess we're pretty fine. Now, for context, the Subway I worked at, it was in a truck stop. So we had a different cadre of guests. Again, you had very nice truckers, you had very horrible truckers. And it was especially fun on the overnight. So where do I want to start? Let's do a little weed story.
Weed.
I had one guest high off their gourd. I came in about halfway into the situation. Apparently he'd been around there for a couple hours causing problems off and on. For the most part, we ignored him. For the most part, we ignored those people because like there was no point us wasting our time making sure he wasn't destroying things. So we kind of just worked around him. So he would just walk around, wander around, stuff like that, and then just leave. You know, for the most part, it was totally fine. Now, this particular guest, we could tell was taking stuff. Now, the rule at ours was, yes, there were cameras, but we have to be able to catch him on camera to actually prove it. In this case, we all knew. This guest started, like, shoving stuff in, like, rat traps out back. It was odd. What other guests did I have? I had a guest one night, like, call randomly to the store. He went to order ahead, but it was to the wrong store. He called the wrong store. He was on the total other side. He was on the total north side of town. Far away from where we were. Like, he would have been at least 20 minutes. And we were, like, trying to help him. He was like, well, there's actually a Subway right over there across from, I think it was at the Menards, I think. He got aggravating. He's like, no. I made an order here. I'm going to come get it. Showed up at our store. I'm like, we'll make something, but you still have to pay for it because we do not have your order. Like, we never got, like, the app notifications because that was never a thing at our store. And it kind of goes into, so if you work at a truck stop and there is a restaurant, they kind of have the right to not acknowledge a lot of the deals or like membership stuff that you like regular restaurants have. So we didn't acknowledge anything on the Subway app. Any coupons we didn't really acknowledge. I mean, to a degree we did. But I read them on, like, we don't acknowledge that stuff. And people got mad for it. I really didn't care. A lot of guests got mad at that. I never had guests walk or like come to the back. That never happened. Well, there was one time. Kind of goes with coworker stories. I had a coworker who I later found out was selling weed in her car on brakes, and this dude just pops his head through the back door that was unlocked. It was rarely unlocked, but somehow she got hold of the keys. I don't recall how she got hold of them, but she did. And I was like, "Get out of here! Why are you here?" I had someone escape from a mental asylum.
Mental asylum? Busted.
That was an odd day. Like, it was like one thing after another, and just all this lady isn't there. Really wasn't causing a problem. She kept asking for a phone, which, we didn't have. They had just gotten rid of the one that was mounted on the wall for guests, which was very interesting. She kept asking him, like, well, you can go next door. If you need to call someone for a ride. I'm like, oh, she broke down. It happened. Like, legit. There would be like a row of cars on the highway. But the one was, of course, on truck stops, so it was like right off the highway. We kept finding like red powder. And I kept cleaning up. I went to the one manager. I'm like, hey, there's a bunch of red powder. I don't know where it's from. She's like, well, it's actually Fireball wax. I'm like, how would you know? It's like, well, I can obviously see Fireball in her bag. He's like, just keep an eye on her. Let me know if she does anything stupid. She's probably drunk. And then later I get a phone call on the store phone being like, hey, we're looking for this mental patient. We're in Illinois. Have you seen her? They said, and it's legit this lady. And I'm like, yeah, we have her here. She's like, okay, we'll be sending someone. And then we can't detain them, so luckily she stayed around. I don't know where she went, or what happened to her. Other than that, of course you had your regulars. Of course you had the occasional, like, burly guest, the guy that made the mess. And speaking of messes, oh my goodness. Let me just tell the video, a guy destroyed my store. Or, I'm sorry, a customer tried burning down my Subway. And I don't know if I made this video already. Maybe I did. This was during COVID. Like, I think COVID had just hit, and we were one of the first places to close. This guy had gotten mad because we were closed. Now, we weren't prepared to close, but we're told we had to. So we really have no way to create a barrier in the lobby, which I don't know why they didn't leave the lobby open. Honestly, let the guys sit somewhere. They should have. Just close down the Subway, put a sign up to let the lobby. They should have, honestly, in hindsight. But I was tasked at night to make sandwiches for the guests, like cold sandwiches that could be there overnight if they were hungry and they need something to eat, because of course that was going to happen. They can grab one of those. This guy didn't like that. He wanted his toasted, which we couldn't do. I left at the tail end, or the beginning of the situation. He decided, I'm mad, I'm going to throw a table at the TV. Somehow did, busted the TV. I was leaving as it happened. I wasn't even aware this was going on. He then decided to run outside into the woods. For some reason, apparently the manager got a gun at some point, which shouldn't have been part of the situation. And then decided to come, like, the guy came back, which is weird. Crooks are dumb. Vandalism are dumb. Why would you go back to the place? We could have called the police at some point. I don't recall if we did. This guy decided to break the Coke machine, break the ice cream cooler, break some other stuff, busted the hot case, continue to get to the back storage room, start messing with stuff in there, grabbed a box cutter, started doing stuff. Apparently it took like 6 cops to get him down. And at some point during all that, also tried to bring the place down. He was like pouring stuff on the floor, trying to light it. Luckily, whatever it was would not ignite for whatever it was. I don't know if he thought it was oil. It was some lubricant or something that wasn't flammable. I don't know what it was. But that's kind of the guess we had. I can't think of any other situations that I had. So if you're a Subway worker, let me know down in the comments. Was this a thing you had? Was this like a constant issue? What were some like the guests you had? Because there were some crazy ones out there. We got the occasional like crazy person, high on their rear end person. We'd have guests be like, I need to put a TV in my truck. I'm like, nope, we're not going out there. Absolutely not. It was odd. And they got medication. Like, we had a manager who did not want us to do the platters, which we had a table out advertising it, and she refused to do them. So many guests got mad at that. Of course, we had the occasional, like the regular crowds. Sunday, the church crowd. Wednesday, the church crowd. The weekend, we had the college crowd, stuff like that. So, I can't think of any more stories. I worked there for 3 years. I really don't have any more stories. I have more coworker stories than I have customer stories, because there are nights where it's slow and stuff gets fun and interesting. So if you want to check out some videos like that, stay tuned. You can leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I'm sure I'll be doing these videos far after in October, or maybe every October, just do these videos for something. And, just hope Subway doesn't sue me or something. I don't know. I'm sure they won't. They don't care. So again, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. You can also find me on Facebook and most other social media platforms at FT_Fast Reviews. And again, check out my podcast at Pizza Party Pod. Again, on most social media platforms. Guys, have a good rest of your day. Stay brave, stay faithful. Stay spooky.